How's it going there, YouTube? I'm hanging out here in the lair. Sierra's Scotty came from my grandparents' camper. Anyways, subject of discussion, I got some questions for you. So, I've been working on the Oldsmobile, the 98 Regency Brougham, and been having some tranny issues. Now, it's had this issue for as long as I've owned it, but more recently I was having extreme amount of pump noise, and it was having very late engagement in reverse and drive. I went into the transmission, and one of the things I've always had suspicions was a problem was the 1-2 accumulator, spring, or piston, because it would have a hard time going from first to second gear, particularly once it warms up and under load. If you give it gas and slowly bring it up to speed, it will shift. If you give it too much gas, it'll kind of slip but never really feel like it engages. If you give it a little bit, rev it up, and then let out, it'll engage into second gear. Very odd. Either way, I took the tranny apart. This is not the one from the car. And was going to replace this, but of course the one that I got in the mail from the Amazon, even knowing it said it fit a 204R, did not. Went and ordered one from Monster Transmission. I don't have it here. They sent me just the piston with no seal when I paid extra for the piston and the seal, and a spring that was totally wrong. So then the seal that I'm talking about is this one right here. Now, this one here, and the spring is this spring here, but it was a wrong spring. This one here came out of a 1988 Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme. I'm not sure the engine, to be honest. I crawled under it, looked. It was at the local U-Pull-It yard. Saw that a 204R by the pan, and grabbed this. In fact, it actually, you can see it says like 88 down in there, so I'm assuming this is correct. Now, here's my question. I was going to throw this in because this piston has less slop all the way through its travel than the one that's in there, even knowing this car either had 116,000 or 216,000. Not sure which. I would say it was probably 116. I mean, the car was in rough shape, yes, but it didn't look like the seats didn't have the wear caused by driving 216,000, nor did the gas or brake pedal. So, that being said, I went and bought this anyways because it was $10, figuring it doesn't hurt to have an extra. But, as I started to clean it up, I put some fluid in here. It was cleaned out. Just to keep this from getting dried out. I don't know if it makes a difference if that seal gets dry, but I figured I'd be better to store with some tranny fluid in it. I noticed this. Now, the scratching is there from me getting the gasket material off there. I scratched a little bit, but this hole right here is what goes down into this piston bore here. And it has an insert in it. Mine does not. It also sounds like it has a check ball, and it has this here on it. If I can focus. Focus. Maybe it'll focus. Either way, so yeah. I'm not sure. I'm going to tip it a little bit. I can't hear it. I'm not sure if that's factory. Oh, I didn't notice that before. Maybe it's not factory, because I did not notice that drill spot before. Either way, if anybody knows anything about that, it sounds like there's a check ball in there. And my fear is if I put this in, this has been modified, that it could damage my transmission. I did put the tranny back together, and I put fresh fluid and filter in it. And it definitely has seemed to have gotten better. The pump noise is gone. It's back to the way it was. So it's not any better, but it's not any worse. It's still having the shifting issue, but it's engaging in reverse. It's engaging in drive. There's no pump noise like there was. It was even making some screeching noises at times during the travel of different gears, and I found it was kind of wandering between gears. I'm assuming that was some kind of a fluid issue. That being cleaned up, it's now better. But I just kind of wanted, this looks stock. I just kind of wanted to get some input on this if anybody's out there. I can't find, I saw some kits that talk about blocking this off, but they also talked about removing this spring and the piston, and this does not have that removed. I haven't tried. I can throw some air on this real quick and see if this piston will still move. In fact, that's probably what I'm going to do now. So let me go ahead, get the compressor filled up, and we're going to take a look to see if it will do anything with the pressure. Okay, so I got a little bit of pressure in here. A little bit of air. Now this is probably going to make a mess, so I'm going to cover it up because there is fluid in there. Let me see. Yeah, the piston comes up. Let me see if you all can see that. Now, of course, the one that I had that had the rubber tip on the end, that grew some feet. But anyways, as you can see, it comes up. So that's why when it's in the transmission, it's going to be sitting like this. So that's why I'm confused, because I feel like if that was there to block off pressure, then it wouldn't be able to do that. It wouldn't push it up if that was there to blow off pressure. I mean, that just... Ooh, wow. Okay, yeah. I mean, it definitely holds better pressure than the one that I have. I wish I still had mine out of the car, but it's back together because it's getting nice out and I want to drive the car, and I didn't know how long this was going to take to get this part. Yeah, I mean, that definitely... Mine, like, I was fighting that. With mine that is in the car, I could have just pushed that straight down and not thought twice about it. So I don't know, maybe somebody out there is a transmission guy and they can tell me what that is. Is that factory? I have no idea. I mean, it's right there, right there. This is odd because I feel like this is not factory because I saw this, but I don't know why that would be there. But here, there is the part number, and this came out of a 1988 Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme. I could not tell. It was not an Oldsmobile motor. I can tell you that much. It was a V8. I want to say it could have been a 350. I don't know what they came with in those cars in that year. Or if that was even the original engine. And while I identified that it was a 204R from the pan and the plate, I wish I remembered what the plate said. I looked it up, but I honestly can't remember. I know mine's a 00 or 00. It was manufactured in the 153rd day of 83. And it is Three Rivers plant, I believe. I don't know. I think that's what it was. I have a picture of it somewhere. But it's the original transmission of the car from what I can see to this one, which means it only has 68,000 miles on it. But I think the problem lies with that the car was not driven a whole lot for many years, and everything kind of dried out. At this point, all the fluid in it is probably new. Let's I made the mistake of plugging the torque converter lockup in when it was unplugged originally. That's another thing. I don't know for how long the torque converter lockup was disconnected on that car either. So it could have been like that for years. I don't know. And it would have had 54,000 miles on it at that time. So yeah, if anybody knows anything about this, give me a comment down below, because I'm not sure if I should throw this in or not. I mean, at this point, I'm sure the bands are probably smoked, but you know, $10 and another thing of fluid to get more of the old fluid out of there. It's going to need rebuild eventually. There's no doubt about it. I'm just trying to learn, trying to understand, trying to just, if I can make the car better for $10 and some new fluid, great. If it doesn't improve, it's whatever. Once again, though, thanks y'all for hanging out here with me in the garage today. A little bit different scene from the lair. So we'll go ahead and get this put back away here. Don't worry, I will clean all this thoroughly. I even grabbed the bolts. I also grabbed the $10, okay? I also grabbed the 3/4 accumulator spring and piston out of that car as well. Here are the codes on that one. I don't know if this would have been modified in any way. I honestly didn't look. I kind of just pulled the plate down and ripped this out just so I would have it, knowing that I think you have to take the valve body off to actually get the 3/4 out. But I have the bolts. Here is the, let me get you the numbers also. That is, touch the screen so I can see what's going on here. I can't tell if you can see that or not. There's an 0.865, 7017. Can't tell what that is. Something 14. 86, 89, and 88, and 0.865. And it is definitely a, I'm assuming, Teflon flat cut seal. It's also made differently than mine. Mine is a smooth metal, and this has a texture to it. So I don't know if this may be some kind of factory revised. I don't know. That's why I'm hoping y'all can help me with it. Thanks again, though, for